Hey everybody, this is Jordan. This video is being recorded on Tuesday, March 5th, 2024. Thank you so much for tuning in. In this video, I'm going to look at the question of, is gold in a new secular bull? Is that confirmed yet? Well, I think the quick answer is, I would say probably it's in a new secular bull. Is it confirmed yet? No. Now, let me get into it with a couple charts. So first, you guys know that I love looking at historical comparisons, and all along I've thought the best historical comparison to where we are today is really the mid to late 1960s. People talk about the 1970s and the 1940s. I mean, there are some comparisons to those decades, but at this point, and especially because the bond secular bull market has broken, that to me is the real confirming indicator that we are in the mid to late 1960s, somewhere around that point. And just the action between gold and the stock market right now is somewhat similar to gold stocks in the stock market in the 1960s. So let me discuss more with this chart. We can see here we have gold, the stock market, then we have gold stocks. This is the Barron's Gold Mining Index. Then we have the BGMI, Barron's Gold Mining Index, against the S&P 500 here. Now, starting off with gold, and by the way, these vertical lines mark secular turning points. So the real secular turning points are, as we know, 2000, and then also 1969, 1970. But 1964 was also a bit of a secular turning point. And a big reason for that, obviously gold stocks here breaking out. I'll get to that. But the stock market, after the early 60s, the gains really slowed down. Remember, 1966, the Dow peaked. The S&P, the secular bull, didn't end until late 68. But this was only, I think, 15%. This high here above this high. So, and if you look at, if you're dividing against the CPI, you kind of had a double top here at these points. Or maybe this was the higher level. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that. But anyway, this is officially, with respect to the stock market, when the secular bull ended. But in real terms, it probably ended here or a little bit before. And so looking at the gold stocks, they had this huge run during the Great Depression, peaked 1938 or so, or 1937. I mean, it depends which stock or index you're looking at. But this breakout here in late 64, I've tweeted before. I mean, to me, this is one of the most significant breakouts in the history of capital markets. Now, in back then, gold stocks, you couldn't buy gold. It was silver, I think, was a really opaque, tiny market. I mean, you couldn't buy tips. I mean, so gold stocks were basically a proxy for gold, I would say, and a lot more important with respect to its standing against the other classes. But anyway, so this was an epic breakout in gold stocks in 1964, right here. And if we look at gold stocks against the S&P 500, yes, gold stocks, I mean, they really bottomed, depending on the index you look at, you could say 1960. But even here in 1964, I mean, relative to the stock market, yes, it was a higher low, but I mean, it was close to a double bottom. So they really hadn't strongly outperformed the stock market yet. And then this huge move, which I think was about 400%, gold stocks outperformed the stock market strongly. And if we look at the 3 or so years leading up to this breakout, I mean, you had this move up and they kind of consolidated for 2 or 3 years or so. Very similar to this. It's just kind of been bigger with respect to gold recently. But this action here, very similar to this. And so gold now breaking out. Yes, this is a breakout out of a 13-year cup and handle. Not quite the 28 or 26-year base that we see here, but nevertheless, I mean, to me, it's very similar. I think 69, 70, you can also make a case that it's similar, but the fact is the S&P is not in a secular bear market yet. This secular bull is still ongoing. And so to me, I mentioned the bond market. This fact, along with the bond market, which cracked in 1965, right after here in this breakout, those things really tell me this is the best comparison. And then, of course, the other factor, which we just mentioned, gold breaking out of this super bullish cup and handle pattern. Again, very similar to the breakout in gold stocks. So that to me is the best historical comparison. Now, getting more into is this a secular bull market? I should say, is it confirmed yet? Because with gold breaking out, it's really hard at this point to say, oh, well, we're not in a new secular bull. Okay, but to confirm that, we need to see, and this is gold against the 60-40 portfolio, we need to see gold, we need to see this ratio really make a move like that to confirm that question. So this is gold divided by a total return portfolio of 60% stocks and 40% bonds. So I have this total return calculation that was constructed for me going back 100 years, even before this. And yeah, I mean, the gold price was fixed around here, I mean, around the gold standard. So that's why using gold stocks makes a better case. And I've mentioned that in other videos. But even though, I mean, it was kind of artificial, this action here, you know, gold a couple times bumping up against the moving average, wasn't able to break through until really the third try. And here, this is pretty similar where, you know, you had the 2018 to 2020 move in gold, and then you had the bear market in the stock market where gold outperformed. And also you had the bond market cracking big time. So that's why gold is still outperforming the 60-40 portfolio. But this is really interesting to me, guys, because we have gold, again, super bullish, epic breakout here. And this is a monthly chart, so this data is delayed by like a week or so. But it's interesting to me because this, in the last month, I mean, it gold against the 60-40, you know, it's failed a couple times. Now it looks to be rolling over. I said in another video, this is kind of rolling over. So what happens now that you have gold making this huge breakout? Well, my hope is, or was, that we could see gold make a really strong move, and then you see this surge above this level. But this is 0.39 or 0.4. So we're at 0.34 right now. So that's, you know, I looked at this, that's, you know, 15, 16% or so. So to really confirm a breakout, we need to see this make, like, from yesterday, I think I tweeted, like, it's at least a 17% move. So we for this to move up to 0.40 or 0.41, it doesn't seem like much looking at this chart, but that's a long way because that's 0.7 divided. I mean, that's a 20% move. So we need to see gold make a 20% move, you know, from where it was a week ago. So from 2050 or wherever, a 20% move from there with the 60-40 not doing anything. So we need to see gold basically get to 2,500 and then the 60-40 being flat at the same time. So we'll see what happens. I will say this. I think that when we get the confirmation from gold against the 60-40 portfolio, gold in nominal terms is probably going to be trading a lot higher than this, 2142. So it's kind of semantics. I mean, if we're waiting for gold to make this breakout to really go all in on precious metals, I mean, that's fine. But my guess is gold will be higher than this, much higher than this level. I don't know. Maybe you get the confirmation at 2,600. You know, maybe there's some kind of recession and it pulls down everything, and that's when you get the confirmation. But in any case, to sum up the video, we don't have confirmation yet of a new secular bull market. But look, when you're breaking out of this type of formation here, that to me, it's really hard to say we're not in a new secular bull when you have this breakout. So new secular bull, yes. Is it confirmed? Not yet, folks. All right, that's all for today in this video. Let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. Check out TheDailyGold.com. Consider subscribing to our premium service. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. I have a lot of great interviews scheduled over the coming weeks, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Talk to you again in the next video.